police investigator has been put on desk duty following an altercation with an EMT outside of an emergency department at Strong Memorial Hospital. Now, fortunately, we do have the security camera footage showing the altercation at issue. And as you see here, they are in an area for the EMT providing the assistance, and you see the investigator there handcuffing her when she is trying to tend to a patient.
Adrienne, beautiful color commentary. I expect you to be on the ABC News or the ESPN basketball color commentary soon.
Thank you, I really appreciate that. I was doing the best I could in that. I really loathe color commentary, but you do what you can with security camera footage. But we do have some background on the incident, and this is per the local news station. The investigator's car was parked in the ambulance bay in front of the emergency room when an EMT hit it while operating her door to unload a patient. Now, the ambulance bay in front of the emergency room is typically reserved for ambulances only. But the investigator thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and park here, planning to go inside for a case. Yeah, so sources tell NBC 10 News that the investigator insisted on getting the EMT's identification, and she insisted on bringing the patient inside first. Well, the woman, the EMT, kept moving with the man on the stretcher, and when she was at the check-in desk, she was approached by the investigator. Her arm pulled behind her back and cuffed before forcefully being taken outside to a police car. The EMT was released from custody. She wasn't charged or ticketed. So it almost seems like it was entirely performative, especially for this officer who was in the wrong by parking in that emergency EMT lane where people bring people who really need aid for that emergency room. So why he decided to park there for his case because he couldn't park in a parking lot is beyond me. Anyway, following the incident, the Rochester Police Department told News 10 NBC that the investigator in the video has been placed on administrative assignment, and at the direction of Chief Smith, the professional standards section is currently conducting an internal investigation. And we got a response from the ambulance team. Well, a spokesman for Monroe Ambulance says that the agency is waiting for the outcome of the RPD, Rochester Police Department investigation, but does believe its EMT was appropriately, singularly focused on patient care. You damn right she was. She said, I'll get to you, officer, after I make sure this man gets the care he needs. That is what we should be focused on, patient care. And what we definitely also need to be focused on now, hopefully that gentleman got the care he needed, is what we are going to do with this officer, because I would say strip him of his powers because clearly he likes to abuse them. But that decision is something that will be considered, or hopefully considered, by the Rochester Police Chief. That's this man here, David Smith. Now he's supposed to be overseeing the investigation of his own officer, who he has not identified because of course, why release the name? That only furthers accountability. But in the meantime, we all waited with bated breath because again, the reality is this officer had no problem abusing his power to the detriment of a local citizen who needed care. And also the fact that he's willing to just park in the EMT bay as though no one else needed it. It really shows that this person should not have any kind of licensure when it comes to law enforcement. Jeff.
You know, a sad reality of the American experience is I'm sure that New York cop's car had insurance, was insured. I'm just wondering if that patient who needed care, I wonder if they had health insurance while this New York cop was going above and beyond just to arrest someone when really he could have waited until all of this was over or filed a report for the precinct that he works in. But instead, as you said earlier, Adrienne, this was performative. This was a reach by him, and I'm hoping that justice will prevail and he can be relieved of his duties.
Yeah, because I'm sure if you look at his background and history, I'm sure he got other complaints from other citizens, because this ain't a one-off when you so willingly park in an EMT bay. And then when the emergency vehicle, the ambulance, it hits you by way of when the doors open to allow the patient to come out. That's how his car was hit. It really does show you that this person abuses power, likely on the regular. So let's be real about whether we want this person to continue to remain in their position moving forward.